Kicking off our countdown at number 10 is the time that Zac Efron dropped a condom on the red carpet. This is not fake news, you guys, this is very much real. To make matters worse, it was on the red carpet of the Dr. Seuss The Lorax premiere, which isn't the first movie you normally pick to bring a condom to. Like, I just want to know, like, what were you planning for that night at a Dr. Seuss premiere? He ended up fessing up to it during an interview on the Today Show, but he couldn't really deny it anyways because it was all caught on camera. With a simple zoom in, you can clearly tell that it is a condom. Zac was just reaching in his pocket to pull some other items out, but then that fell out instead, and it just so happened to fall out directly in front of the paparazzi that was waiting for him. He ended up just laughing it off and said that he now does a full pocket check before going on the red carpet. Better to stay safe than sorry though. Am I right? I mean, it's not like a horrible message to be putting out there to his fans. Next up at number 9 is the moment that Jerry Seinfeld refused to hug Kesha. The moment went viral after it was caught on camera because it is painfully embarrassing to watch. I don't get secondhand embarrassment very easily, but guys, with this one I did. I just felt so bad for Kesha. Like, I can only imagine being so excited to meet like your celebrity crush and then this happening. So what happened was they were both on the red carpet at the Night of Laughter and Song event. Jerry was in the middle of an interview when Kesha rushed over to him all excited to meet him. She approaches him and tells him how much she loves him, and she goes in for a hug, and he just like completely rejects her.
Can I give you a hug?
No thanks.
Please?
No thanks.
A little one.
Yeah, no thanks.
The moment is so awkward. She tries to hug him like 3 different times, and he just keeps putting his hand up and saying no. What hurt her even more though is the fact that when she walked away, he asked the reporter who that was. He didn't even know that it was Kesha. But the two have spoken since the incident, and Jerry said that she was very nice about it and that they laughed it off. And if you are wondering, no, he still has not hugged her. Sliding into number 8 is Jennifer Lawrence. One day we will all be telling our grandkids about the time that Jennifer Lawrence tripped up the stairs at the Oscar Awards. We won't have to just tell it though, we can also show them because it was all televised. She had just been called up to the stage to receive the Best Actress award for her role in Silver Lining Playbook, and she completely tripped and fell on her way onto the stage. She explained what happened and said that she remembers her stylist telling her to kick and walk, meaning kick the dress out while you walk, but then she got distracted and forgot. The dress tucked under her feet and she went down. It was pretty much just game over from there. But she did handle it like a champ. She laughed and then got right back up and went to get her award. Cruising into number 7 is Ariana Grande and the donut. This one is a little more ridiculous compared to the other ones. Who would have thought a donut would cause so much drama? Back in 2015, Ariana was exposed after someone posted surveillance footage of her licking a donut. She and her boyfriend at the time, Ricky Alvarez, decided to play truth or dare at a donut shop, and apparently that was one of the dares. In the footage, you can see them daring each other to lick the donuts that were on display for purchase. People thought it was inconsiderate to the business, obviously, but there was more to it. In the video, you can also hear her saying, "I hate Americans, I hate America." So obviously, Americans weren't very thrilled about it. She faced a ton of backlash for it and released an apology video taking responsibility for her actions. Like, what? Who'd be out here just licking donuts on display? She probably had to buy them all after that. Moving on to number 6, we have 50 Cent's terrible baseball pitch. Now, why would anyone care if he can throw a baseball or not? Well, he threw what's been called one of the worst opening pitches in baseball history. He was asked to pitch the game ball for the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the New York Mets game, and it is a pretty big deal to be invited as the opening pitcher. But his throw was so brutal that everyone could not help but laugh.
His first pitch was not great. Just a bit outside.
He was torn apart on social media, but in a lighthearted way, of course, because it's not that serious. He didn't have much of an excuse for it, so he just made a joke about it and wrote on his social media saying, "I have a skeletal muscle injury on my left shoulder from excessive masturbation, so take it easy, lol." This just prompted like a whole stream of hilarious responses from his fans. But, well played, my friend, that is funny. He literally just like threw it to the left, like literally I don't know where you were looking, but it wasn't that way.
At number 5, we have Leanne Rimes and Eddie Cibrian cheating scandal. This one was messy. The two of them were co-stars in the 2009 movie Northern Lights, but they seemed to grow a closer relationship than just co-stars. At the time, Leanne was married to the dancer Dean Shermitt for 9 years, and Eddie was married to model Brandy Granville. During the shoot of their movie, they upgraded their friendship to another level, and surveillance footage caught the whole thing on tape. Video footage from a restaurant showed the two of them having dinner together and even sharing a kiss and holding hands. Even though the footage showed them straight up kissing, the two of them denied infidelity, which just made people even more angry at the situation because, like, you got caught. What do you mean?
Here now at number 4 is Katy Perry's hilarious cake fall. Ever since she came into the spotlight, she's been known for her crazy costumes, rainbow wigs, and wild stage props, like a giant cake for example. During one of her performances at the MTV's Latin America Awards, Katy was singing her hit song I Kissed a Girl, and she dived into a giant cake. Now you might think she could have settled for a fake one, surely they have cool props like that nowadays, but she chose the real deal instead. But when she got off the cake and was covered in it, she continued to sing but slipped and fell onto the floor. The best part was she kept trying to get back up, but she just kept slipping and falling down again. Like her guitar player is trying to help her and she just can't stay on her feet. She was falling all over the stage as she struggled to get up and stay on her feet, all while singing. It was honestly so great to watch. I don't mean to laugh at you, girl, but that shit's hilarious. Taking 3rd place is Lamar Odom's paparazzi freakout. Celebrities having a little freakout on the paparazzi isn't anything new, but this one crossed the line and took things too far. The NBA star was exposed in some leaked video footage where he was yelling at a paparazzi man and destroying all of his equipment. Turns out the pap had asked him about his affair on Khloe Kardashian at the time, and he lost his cool. He found the pap's car, which was parked nearby, and he took a crowbar, opened it, and started throwing all of his camera equipment in the middle of the road. Even after he had thrown it on the ground, he went over to it, picked it up, and just kept smashing it to make sure that it was broken. Tons of people were driving by, so fans were just standing there confused watching the whole thing happen. The man ended up pressing charges though, and Lamar paid him for new equipment and apologized. Taking over our number 2 spot is Steve Harvey announces the wrong winner. Back in 2015, he was asked to host the Miss Universe pageant, which means you only have one job: to announce the winner. He proved to be a reliable host for 3 years, so people were shocked when he announced the wrong winner and didn't realize it until after everyone was celebrating her win. Like, she literally did the flowers, the crown, everyone was cheering. Yeah. He announced that Miss Columbia had won the competition, but then realized that she was actually the runner-up, and the actual winner was Miss Philippines.
I have to apologize.
He actually had to walk back on stage and revoke his declaration and then tell Miss Philippines that she is not in 2nd place, she is in 1st place. The whole thing was super uncomfortable to watch, and you can't help but feel so heartbroken for Miss Columbia, who just thought that she had won the entire thing and then had it taken away. Taking our number 1 spot is Fergie peed herself on stage. She recalls it as the most unattractive moment of my life. She's the first to admit that it was one of the lowest points of her career. Back in 2005, she was performing with the Black Eyed Peas and says that she was rushing to get on stage because they were late. It was a Friday and they were driving down the freeway, so they got stuck in horrible traffic. They knew that they had to start the show immediately when they got there, so she didn't have time to go to the bathroom beforehand. While they were performing Let's Get It Started, she started running across the stage and began jumping around, and that is just when it came out. Literally. She said that her adrenaline was going and it just kind of happened, and she was so embarrassed. Despite the pee though, she kept on singing like nothing had even happened, even though it was super obvious to the crowd and the whole thing was caught on camera. I don't mean to laugh, girl, but you know what? We've all pissed ourselves at one point in time. So no shame, don't even feel bad. Not quite like that though, but.
Starting us off at number 10, we have the Justin Timberlake cheating scandal. If you missed this one, then prepare for your heart to be broken because, oh, this one hurts. Fans adore Justin and his wife Jessica Biel, who are married and have 2 kids together. Honestly, they seem to be the power couple in Hollywood. But that all changed in 2019 when photos leaked online showing Justin holding hands and getting cozy with his co-star Alicia Wainwright. The pictures were taken in New Orleans where he was filming, and apparently the cast had a night off and decided to go to a local bar. In the pictures, Justin is having drinks, holding her hand, and she is also stroking his knee at one point. But what most people pointed out very quickly was that he did not have his wedding ring on. For obvious reasons, this started a huge cheating rumor mill, but Justin released a public statement saying nothing happened further than those photos. He apologized and said that his actions were wrong, and Jessica Biel gave him a chance to prove himself. She was very forgiving. Up next, number 9, we have the epic elevator fight. This one shocked everyone when video footage surfaced in 2014 of Solange Knowles and Jay-Z having an argument in an elevator. Surveillance footage at a hotel caught Solange physically attacking her brother-in-law, who didn't put his hands on her at any point in this footage. It was a bit confusing for people to watch because the elevator ride was just quiet and normal at first, but then what seemed like out of nowhere, she just snaps and starts to kick him. Fans got an explanation later on when reports claimed that she was mad at Jay-Z for allegedly getting too close with Rachel Roy, his business partner's wife. But the 2 of them spoke on it later on and said that alcohol was involved and that they have worked it out and they are on good terms again. Basically, they said it was very simple. They are like brother and sister, and so they fight like brother and sister. I've been there. My sister's chased me around with a hammer one day and then loves me the next. And that's a fact. Cruising into the number 8 spot is Miley Cyrus's bong video. Back in 2010, this was one of the biggest scandals to happen because it was a Disney star gone wild situation. Miley had been exposed on social media and in paparazzi many times, but she doesn't seem too bothered by it usually. But she probably cared a little bit more about this scandal because someone exposed her online in a video of her hitting a bong on her 18th birthday. Let's keep in mind that during this time, this was not legal by any means, and she was still associated with the Disney Channel, so obviously it was very detrimental to her career and reputation. After Disney started making public statements about it, Miley claimed that she was smoking salvia, which is a natural and legal herb with psychedelic properties. No one believed her though, in all honesty, and then years down the road she admitted to what it really was, which we already knew. But okay, Miley.
In our number 7 spot is Justin Bieber pukes on stage. Back in 2012, it was the first night of his world tour and everything seemed fine at first. He was doing his thing, busting out his choreography, and singing his hit song Out of Town Girl, and then things suddenly took a turn for the worst. Out of nowhere, he turns his back to the crowd, bends over, and just puked all over the stage. He immediately rushed backstage while his dancers continued on, basically trying not to slip in his vomit. He eventually made his return to the stage, announcing that he was gonna just slow things down, but within a few songs, he was puking again. So he didn't just puke once, he puked twice, in front of everyone. He posted a picture to his Instagram after the show with him curled up in bed and captioned it, "Milk was a bad choice, lol." Why would you ever drink milk before a show? That's bad for your vocal cords, boy. I don't even sing and I know that. Milk. That is the worst idea I've ever heard.
In spot number 6, we have Winona Ryder's shoplifting scandal. She has one of the most trending surveillance tapes from any celebrity misconduct that's ever been caught on camera. The footage was released back in 2001 when she was one of the biggest Hollywood stars at the time that everyone was talking about. But then everyone was talking about her for all the wrong reasons. Video footage leaked and showed her shoplifting merchandise worth $5,000 from Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills. The incident and legal battle put her career on hold for a while, but later down the road she said that it was the best thing that could have happened to her at that point in her life. She explained and said that she felt like she was hitting a wall and what happened gave her the time off that she needed. Honestly, I don't get when like celebrities shoplift. Like, you are rich and you could probably get half that stuff for free simply because of who you are. Like, what are you doing shoplifting? You have $5,000.
Halfway through the list at number 5 is Bryce Hall. That's all, just Bryce Hall. It is safe to say the TikTok star has had many scandals in his career so far, but one of them was a physical altercation that got caught on camera. It was actually 2 incidents on 2 different occasions. The first one was in late 2020 when he posted a video of he and his friends physically attacking an unknown man outside of a restaurant. He exposed himself and tweeted the video and said, "We don't condone violence, but if you punch someone in front of us, we'll have no choice but to defend ourselves." But Bryce's security guard was in the video with them, and everyone was quick to say that the altercation could have been avoided and that posting the video was showing that you did condone the violence. Then, just a few weeks after this first video, another one leaked online of Bryce attacking a server at a restaurant in LA. Apparently, in LA, it is illegal to vape in restaurants, and when the server told him to stop, he got mad and attacked the employee. The footage was crazy, and unfortunately, we cannot share it on here, so I apologize. But the fighting videos are pretty wild to watch.
Sniping our number 4 spot is David Hasselhoff Drunken Hamburger Feast. If this is your first time hearing about it, then you're probably really confused as to what I'm talking about. It seemed silly at first, but it was actually a lot more serious than people knew. The video footage surfaced online back in 2007 and was actually exposed on social media by his own daughter. She didn't have bad intentions, she just posted the video clips online thinking no one would see it or that no one would really pay attention to it. The video showed her dad completely wasted, lying on the floor struggling to eat a hamburger, which normally would be funny to watch, but he is a recovering addict and the video exposed that he was no longer sober like he was claiming to be. In the video, you can hear his 16-year-old daughter saying, I quote, "Dad, you need to promise me you're not gonna get alcohol tonight, okay? If you get alcohol tonight, you are fired from your show tomorrow. And a doctor is coming over here in the morning to check your alcohol level, and if there's any alcohol in your system, you're going to be fired." So it was actually a lot more serious than people thought. David ended up admitting to his relapse and issued an apology.
In our 3rd spot is Janet Jackson's iconic nip slip. This moment will forever be remembered, and it would have been even if it wasn't televised all over the world. It was back in 2004 when Janet paired up with Justin Timberlake to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. But by the end of their performance, they gave a whole new meaning to the phrase wardrobe malfunction. At the end of the song, they were performing some of their rehearsed choreography, and Justin was supposed to pull off part of her costume to relieve like more red costume underneath, but instead he exposed her bare breast. Not only to the crowd, but to the TV audience of over 140 million viewers.
Moving on to the number 2 spot is Kate Moss gets caught with substances. The famous incident happened in 2005, and by that time, everyone knew that the English supermodel was having some substance issues, but this was the first time that her addiction came out as a legit story. Video footage surfaced online showing the model snorting 5 lines in the course of 40 minutes. Turns out there was a hidden camera in the recording studio that she had been hanging out in with her then boyfriend Pete Doherty. Once the photos and video footage surfaced everywhere, she lost all of her fashion clients like Burberry and H&M, who ended their campaigns with her immediately. All of the contracts that she lost were worth more than $4 million. Rumor has it though that the only brand to actually stick by her during that time was Chanel, who announced that they were willing to renew her contract despite what happened in that video. Earning a number 1 spot is Caitlyn Jenner's car accident. This one is more serious than some of the other ones on our list, and it turned into a significant legal battle. Caitlyn got into a car accident back in 2015, which quickly turned into a serious lawsuit after one person was killed. Caitlyn was uninjured in the crash, but after being exposed on social media, she was deemed a lawsuit for wrongful death. Video footage was posted online which captured the entire accident on camera, showing Caitlyn's Escalade. Her Escalade was carrying an off-road vehicle, and she ended up hitting 2 cars, causing one car to hit the other car. One of the drivers, Kim Howe, was 69 years old at the time and sadly passed away in the crash. At the time of the investigation, even though the tape clearly shows who is at fault, she was able to walk away without any charges. However, 3 years after the accident in 2018, she was sentenced to pay $800,000 for the settlement of the case.
Kicking off our countdown at number 10 is the Kevin Hart cheating scandal. In 2017, he broke the internet after video footage leaked and showed him with another woman. Allegations flooded the internet claiming that he had cheated on his wife at the time, Aniko Parrish, who was 8 months pregnant with their son. Kevin was denying the rumors at the time, but then landed in the middle of an extortion attempt. Someone allegedly was in possession of a video of him with another woman engaging in sexual activity, and they were going to expose him if he did not give the money. Aniko later explained how she found out about the cheating scandal, and it was actually through a DM. She said, "I was about 7 or 8 months pregnant and I was having breakfast and I opened my phone and immediately I just lost it." Kevin finally admitted to it and released a public apology to his wife and family, and the two of them worked through it and they are still together to this day. They even have more babies together. Moving on to number 9, we have the infamous Pamela Anderson sex tape. This scandal is so crazy that it's almost too crazy to believe, but it is still one of the most talked about controversies. They actually have a TV series coming out about it. It was back in 1995 when she made a tape with her husband at the time, Tommy Lee. They made the tape during their honeymoon and said that it was never meant for anyone else's eyes. But just a few months after being filmed, it was being watched by millions of people. Turns out they were having their Malibu home renovated and had many workers at the time working on their home. An electrician named Rand Gauthier said that they owed him $20,000 but refused to pay it, so he wanted revenge. He ended up plotting a heist and stole their safe from their garage, which was filled with their jewelry, other prized possessions, and their tape. In order to avoid the security cameras, he disguised himself as the couple's dog by draping a white fur cover over himself, and then once he was inside, he lifted the safe and used a U-Haul dolly to move it. Like, I'm not even kidding, you cannot make this up. Of course, he then leaked the tape and it actually made $77 million in less than 12 months. Wow. In the number 8 spot is Mike Tindall. This was one of the biggest cheating scandals in Hollywood because it is never a good idea to cheat on the Queen of England's granddaughter. The English rugby player cheated on his wife Zara Phillips back in 2011. Well, he did, or he attempted to, we're still not very sure. It was only a few weeks after he married the second child of Queen Elizabeth's daughter, Anne. Video footage captured him kissing, so I guess he technically did cheat then. But he still denies it. Anyway, video footage captured him kissing a mysterious blonde woman in New Zealand, and the world was shocked. The incident was caught on CCTV cameras and then went viral immediately. Because it involved a member of the royal family, the scandal blew up even bigger than people expected. However, despite the massive scandal, the two of them continued to stay married.
Moving on to number 7, we have Reese Witherspoon's DUI. That is a sentence that I never thought I would say. No one wants their personal life getting caught on camera, but you most definitely do not want a DUI getting caught on camera. Or your legal record for that. It's worse in Reese's case because hers was filmed and then exposed to the entire world. It happened back in 2013 when she was with her husband at the time, Jim Toth, and they were pulled over by an Atlanta cop on suspicion of a DUI. The police dash cam caught the whole thing on tape and showed Reese going into some erratic rage, which actually led to her being arrested. Her husband was the one driving, so he was actually the one with the drink driving charge, but Reese was intoxicated and just felt feisty, and she felt the need to stick up for her husband. In the video, you can see Reese yelling at the police officers and not listening to their orders, which were telling her to sit down. They ended up putting her in handcuffs, and then she lies to them, saying that she's pregnant and has to pee as an attempt to get out of the handcuffs. They ended up both being arrested, and she ended up pleading no contest to physical obstruction of another, and Jim pled guilty to his DUI.
Rolling into the number 6 spot is Tristan Thompson caught cheating. Technically speaking, his scandal was 2 different times because he was caught cheating twice. What a guy. The first time was when his girlfriend Khloe Kardashian was in the hospital about to give birth to their daughter. Security footage leaked online showing him kissing another woman in a nightclub more than one time. On top of that, video footage showed him going to a hotel with that same woman that he was kissing in the club. After the scandal blew over and she gave birth to their daughter, she did decide to forgive him and stayed with him. But then later down the road, it was revealed that he had cheated once again, but with Kylie Jenner's best friend, Jordan Woods, Woods, who was basically a sister to Khloe and the rest of their family. I remember when the video first broke the internet, it was crazy because like news articles announced that Khloe was in labor and then Tristan was out cheating while she's in the hospital. It was crazy. It was nuts. Yet she stayed. Halfway through list number 5 is Ashlee Simpson's lip syncing controversy. It's hard to forget her epic SNL singing fail from 2004 that pretty much ended her entire music career. Now, I don't want to laugh at the fact that her career was affected by this humiliating moment, but at the same time, why you lip syncing, girl? You are a live performer.
On a Monday, I'm waiting.
If you haven't seen this footage before, she was performing her song on SNL and the music track started playing behind her as she was starting to sing the song, but the timing was kind of off and she just got completely exposed for lip syncing. It was extremely awkward and then you could tell that she didn't know what to do, so she just started doing this like weird dance Irish gig thing, which just made everything even more awkward and uncomfortable. Yeah, the whole thing was just pretty embarrassing. Moving on to number 4, we have the Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction. A moment caught on camera that will forever be remembered. You might have even guessed that it would be on this list. It wasn't just caught on camera though, it was actually aired live in front of the entire world. Back in 2004, she paired up with Justin Timberlake to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, and as most of us know it, things did not go to plan. Near the end of the song, they were performing some of the rehearsed choreography, and Justin was supposed to pull off part of her costume, but instead of revealing what was underneath, he exposed her bare breast instead. One of the worst fails ever at the worst timing. It was said that at that halftime show, it had 140 million viewers that night.
Taking over our third spot is Jamie Lynn Spears and the Peta Pitt fight. A lot of people learned not to mess with Britney Spears' little sister back in 2015 after surveillance footage showed her doing something crazy. She was having lunch at a Peta Pitt restaurant when a fight just broke out in the dining area, which actually included one of her friends. Jamie was not actually involved in the fight and she was trying to break it up, but it was unsuccessful, so she did the unthinkable. She actually was able to grab her friend and pulled her out of this brawl, and then she walks behind the food counter and grabs a bread knife and starts waving it around as a warning to the people fighting. No one got hurt, and no, she did not actually use the knife on anyone, but who knew that this Nickelodeon star had that kind of fight in her? That is pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. Swinging around a bread knife. I can't even imagine.
Rolling into the number 2 spot, we have Paris Hilton. I'm sure you can guess which one this is. Another sex tape scandal that we could never forget. It's tough to say if this was technically caught on camera or not since she participated in the video, but the whole scandal has been a huge controversy because a lot of people think that it was a publicity stunt. Back in 2003, her tape was allegedly leaked online, but things seemed to be a bit sketchy. The video was called One Night in Paris and showed footage of her and her ex-boyfriend Rick Salomon. But when it was leaked, the video footage at that point was 3 years old, so people didn't know why it just randomly came out 3 years later. Paris claimed that her ex leaked it, but people think she did it because it was leaked just before the premiere of her new reality show. I personally don't want to say that she leaked it in case she really didn't, because that is a horrible thing to have something intimate and personal leaked online like that, but all the articles I have read claim that it was a PR stunt and that she did benefit from it. If you know what I'm saying. She got money. Winning the number 1 place is the Britney Spears umbrella drama. While it may have seemed funny at the time, in more recent years we learned that it was actually more serious than anyone knew, and Britney was really struggling with mental health issues at that time. The incidents became a meme and a gif for many years, but now it's not so funny anymore. Back in 2007, we saw footage of her freaking out on paparazzi and smashing their car with an umbrella. In the same night, we also saw footage of her going to a hair salon and shaving off all her hair, and then getting a tattoo just a few moments later. The night was very chaotic and people didn't understand why she was just spiraling out of control. The umbrella from the incident was actually kept by the paparazzi man who got attacked, and 10 years after the incident he auctioned it off in LA and was starting the bid for $50,000.